pretty well
Yeah.
considering everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Doing really well. Thanks for asking. Man, I got to tell you, I heard That Ain't Me No More. And I was like, this is it, man. For me, it's not only is it a killer song, but I know you've already had the two number ones. This song to me stands out as like one of those career makers. Like hear a when you hear Garth Brooks, you immediately think Friends in Low Places, right? Like that's the tune you immediately think of. And this song is so freaking good, man. Congratulations on that. Can you tell me about it? And when you heard it for the first time, what did you think?
Yeah.
What went through your mind?
Well, thank you very much for saying that. And what went through my mind, honestly, was something similar, man. I really, you never know what a song's gonna do, but you know how a song makes you feel when you hear it initially, and that's usually what I go with, right? Is that first gut thing. And man, when I first heard this tune, I wasn't looking to cut songs at the time. We had our schedule set up, and we were going with, getting singles lined up and whatever. And this song came along and just changed all our plans because it was that special. And I knew I wanted to be the guy that sings it and took it into the studio and I had a hand in producing it and coming out with something really cool and hoping that we did. And then when we did, man, we really thought we had something special. So
Well,
glad you dig it.
yeah, absolutely. Hardy's one of the co-writers on it, and that guy just seems to be throwing out number ones at this point. He's just on a roll, so that's certainly a benefit to you as well. You mentioned the fact that you weren't really looking to cut something at the time, which is what kind of surprised me because the Better Than That EP's out and it's really fantastic with all the songs on it. So I was surprised to hear that you had this song coming out, and then I heard it and I was like, well, that makes total sense. So is this going to be like a one-off thing, or is this the start of here's my next project?
Well, this song will kind of live in the under the same roof as this current EP does. There's songs on that EP that I'm very proud of that I really am excited for people to listen to, and maybe the kind of thing that we want to put on the radio someday too. But I moved to town to be a songwriter, right? And I was lucky enough to have written the first two singles that we had. But when you move to town to write songs, you kind of rely on artists to cut songs, and to let the best song win. And to me, that's how I always operate, right? I just want the best song to win, whether or not I wrote it or not. And there's so many talented people like Hardy and everybody else that's on that song. There's like 5 people on that song, and it's incredible tune. But I just knew that that was a really special tune, and I think it'll fit really well with what we're trying to do. And yeah, I'm just really excited to get it out to the world.
Yeah, if you're listening to this or watching this and you haven't checked out the EP, you have to. Sadie is one of my favorite songs on there. That just that Sadie, so good, man, so catchy. There's a line in this one, That Ain't Me No More, that stuck out to me, and I think it sticks out to you too because you ended up doing a post on it. But it's because I'm doing as good and as bad as I've ever been. And then when I first heard that, I was like, ooh, that's a line. Talk to me about that one specifically and why it stuck out to you as well.
Well, part of the reason it stuck out for me is where it is in the song, which is the bridge. And country music in general, bridges are sometimes we have them, sometimes we don't. And typically the only time that you have a bridge in a song is if you have something cool and need to say something else. And I thought, man, what a cool way to just encapsulate this whole song in basically one line, because that's really what this song is about, because there's such a cool turn of phrase in it. That's what I love about country music the most, probably, is the lifting that the lyric does. So I feel like that the bridge on this song and that particular line, I'm doing as good as bad as I've ever been, just sums it up in a really cool way, and it gets you into that last chorus to really rock hard. So yeah, I just love it.
It reminded me of like a 90s country or an early 2000s country, because the bridge has always been my favorite part, especially when you come to a sort of heartbreak song like this, like that just angsty tune. The bridge is the best part of the song because that's your sort of crescendo of like, here's what this is all about. So I dig it, man. I really do. So you taught yourself how to play guitar in your dorm room, I understand, as I'm looking back at some interviews and whatnot. I wonder, as you're teaching yourself this, one, what's the first song that you learned to play? And two, what was the goal song, right? Because everyone's like, I need to learn how to play Tuesday's Gone, Skinnerd or something. Like,
right.
What was it for you?
Well, that was definitely one of them that got played quite a bit. But when I first started playing, it was a lot of that, just kind of guitar songs, a lot of Skinnerd, a lot of Merle, Waylon, love that old country music, a lot of cool, stuff from the 90s that I loved. Also some like Oasis and
Nice.
Hootie and the Blowfish, like anything that sounded good on an acoustic guitar that you could play in a fraternity house with a bunch of people screaming the words back and that the girls liked, that was like what you learned. And then I started getting into, kind of singer-songwriters that were singer-songwriters, but in a kind of country mode, which is a lot of stuff that was coming out of, the Texas music scene at the time. And I sort of fell in love with that. I fell in love with the independent streak. And even still, I don't make music that necessarily sounds like that anymore. I do sometimes, but really the part of it that I take away from is that independent streak. And that's what I love about music. And, from when I first started playing guitar and learning how to play, to writing songs just as soon as I could mash G, C, and D together, basically, to write in twos. That's what I wanted to do.
I love it. I got to call out this tweet that I literally screenshotted and saved on my little iPad here. Cardi B sends out a tweet and she goes, this is a quote, "It'd be so annoying doing clean versions of my songs. I hate it." You responded and said, "Same. The clean version of Prayed for You just don't slap like the OG." Can you tell me about like when you're scrolling through, have you had a couple of drinks at this point, or is this at noon on a Tuesday and you're like, that's hilarious?
Well, it could have been noon on a Tuesday. And I could have been having a couple lunch beers. Who knows?
Day drinking, yes.
But no, I don't know. I just I thought that was pretty funny, and I get what she means,
Yeah.
Because I actually do have a couple songs that have explicit ratings on iTunes back in the day, and none of them were radio singles where I had to change them. Really.
Change it around, yeah.
I would hate to, I would hate to have to. But
right.
I see what you kind of have to. Like I think about CeeLo Green, and his song "Forget You."
Forget You.
Yeah, it's like it's not as cool. It's so much cooler just to like.
It doesn't hit as hard than when you say it out loud. I get it. Let's do some quick fire questions, man, because I know you got other people to talk to. Number one, something you're bad at, but you wish you were good at.
I wish I was better at golf. I wouldn't say I'm bad, but I'd like to be a lot better.
Number two, favorite TV show all time.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Such a good show. Number three, when you got your first big time royalty check, what was your first splurge?
I paid off my mother's horse trailer.
Look at you, man. Always a good man. It's so good to talk to you. I cannot wait for people to hear this song, That Ain't Me No More. It is phenomenal, and I see it flying up the charts, man. Thank you so much for your time. Can't wait to see you in person and hear that song live real soon.
Big Coop, we'll see you soon, brother. Thank you so much for chatting.
Thanks, man. Take care.
Later.
Bye.